Like in your IG posts where you're cooking up, is that your home studio that you're in when you making those beats and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. That's a lot of investments, man. A lot of investments. You don't need much um to get the job done, man. I've seen people with $1,000 studios, and respectfully, the beats still don't be up to par.
yeah.
I'm, for the longest I was getting busy with just my Samsung laptop and some headphones. I sold everything. I mean, I had a machine. I had a machine too.
Oh, you
MK2.
had a machine too?
I had a
Yeah.
machine MK2, but I didn't like the workflow of it. So I basically
Mhm.
turned it to like, at the time I kind of had like the MPDs.
Yeah,
So I
uh-huh.
basically turned a $600 drum machine into an MPD, and I felt like I was wasting this potential. I'm like, yo, I spent money on this, and I'm not even using this to full potential. So I ended up selling it, and then just start using my typing keyboard that's on my laptop to make my beats for a long time.
Yeah,
And yeah,
it's all in the mind of the producer. I mean, like all I got is a laptop. I use FL Studio and a laptop, and I make boom bap beats.
that's
So
all.
I mean, you know,
Like, you don't need a whole lot to create
yeah.
music. Like, it's all about your ear. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, I could take what I'm doing now and just use, just a laptop and just create music. I mean, will it take me longer? Probably,
Yeah.
but I'm still able to do the same thing because the sounds that I would pick for my live, I would pick the same sounds on if I'm just using the typing keyboard. See what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's all
Hmm.
about sound selection. So yeah.
Yeah. So the MPC is that the MPC live that you use when you're on IG and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the first edition. The first NPC that I actually got was the NPC Renaissance.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, because
Hmm.
like I know I said like 12, 13, I was making beats, but if you want to be technical, it was really six. I was really 6 years old making the beat because my pops had equipment in the studio and his
Oh, okay.
house. They had the NPC. I was about to say live NPC 2000. The
Yeah.
first started naming the XL, so I was messing around with that, and I was like, okay, well, this is too advanced, whatever, whatever. So then I went to FL, Reason, so on and so forth. So around
Yeah.
like 2012, 2013, when the car was trying to jump into that realm where Native Instruments was with the first machine,
Hmm.
a couple years later, they did the Renaissance and the studio. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm about to get this right here. Like, I don't even want the studio. It was the Renaissance, the studio, and then the NPC Fly, like something from the iPad, something like that. But they didn't do
Yeah. And
so
then
like,
live was after that, right? What after whatever after the fly or whatever.
nah, it was the Studio Black, um, and then the Live,
Oh, okay.
and then that's when you got like the Live Tool, then the X, and now they got the NPC Beats, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So my first MP was the Renaissance, 2012, 2013, 2014, one of them years, and then years later I got the Live. I've been on Live ever since. So it need to tune up now, man. Like I gotta get new pads, I gotta get a new casing, new buttons. You need a whole makeover. So I'm gonna spend
Yeah.
some money on it and get it right.
So the one that you got is like the first live that they put out, or
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I mean I've seen somebody that had the NPC Live too.
Hmm.
Speaker wasn't that crazy to me, so I'm like, I'm not about to spend. I think now it's like at 1,000. I'm not spending another $1,000 just to have a speaker. No,
Right. Like if it doesn't have too much new features than the last thing that you're working with, like what's the point? Like
you spending
you
out
know.
of like you just paying for the speaker. Like if you don't want to get monitors, like I don't, everybody
Hmm.
living situation is different, right? So
Right.
having monitors in an apartment is crazy unless the walls is like super thick. But
Yeah.
a lot of times you can't have monitors in an apartment because it's gonna be rattling.
So, yeah, it's going to be too much of a disturbance. So your neighbors is.
Exactly. So I mean, if you got the MPC Live tool, you can use the speaker and get busy with that. But you still gotta mix. You still gotta, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So, what are 3 things that related to your music production that are must-haves in your studio?
Each of my farts like bug keyboard, something like that, or
yeah, like as far as just like actually making the music, like your drum machine or your DAW, or like anything that involved with like actually making the music.
3 things definitely for me. I like still playing bass line, so keyboard for sure. Definitely gonna need a computer with a DAW. I mean, you don't necessarily need an MPC unless you're trying to go DAW-less.
Yeah.
Computer, or maybe strictly MPC. Maybe you want to go DAW-less, so MPC or laptop, and monitors for sure. Like, well, I mean, I guess this will be a half thing too. So monitors or headphones, depending on your little situation. I feel like those are the essentials for just your basic needs. I don't think you need like a $1,000 keyboard and you need this and this. I don't think you need all of that to create music. I think it just, I gotta have this perception like, man, I need this, nah, you really don't. Like, I don't need a MPC 3000 or MPC 60 or ASR 10 to do what I'm doing now. It would be
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, in this day and age, it's not beneficial. By the time, you've cooking up a beat on this antique drum machine or antique keyboard, I done made 3 or 4 beats already. I was talking to my mans about this yesterday. I was like, I will only use an antique keyboard or drum machine just to run sounds through it and then run it back out. I'm not about to make a beat on here because it's gonna take way too long. I mean, the process probably be dope. You getting that.
Yeah, as far as the quality of the music will be dope, but like, yeah,
the process is gonna take forever. But yeah, just keyboard, laptop, monitors. Those are your basic needs. Everything else is just completely up to the producer.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Because like you said, like whether you use a DAW or if you use hardware or if you use both, and then just headphones or speakers so you can hear the mix, and that's all you really need.
That's all you really need. Yeah, I think people overcomplicate things for no reason.
Yep. So what's your process when making beats? Like, do you start with the drums first, or do you start with the sample first? Like, how do you go about it as far as that goes?
9 times out of 10, I'm probably looking for a sample first. But I try to switch it up now. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit more. Start with the drums first, and because I don't know, like when you using a sample first and then finding the drums, depending on how you do your patterns, the process might be a little bit stale. But
yeah,
the drums first and just creating a crazy pattern, then finding the sample, the chops be a little different. I don't know, it's just different. The process a little bit.
Yeah. Because sometimes if you find a sample first, then if you don't chop it, then if your drums, you kind of gotta follow the drums and the samples sometimes, like if you kind of locked into that. But if you start with your drums first and then if you chop the sample or not, it can still work better that way sometimes. It just all depends though. That's interesting though.
It definitely depends, but like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably finding the sample first and then doing the drums. But like I said, now I'm trying to reverse that and try to do half and half.
Yeah. So you can, do it either way and not be, have one way that you do something all the time, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Good to experiment.
It is.
Yeah. And what about the song making process? Like when your beat is done and like, or you know, you got a batch of beats. Do you let artists pick from a batch of beats, or do you make your songs in the studio with them usually? Like, how does that work?
No, I'm usually emailing. I want to get back to, you know, going in the studio and vibing and picking joints or making something from scratch. But I feel like too, when there's a lot of people in there, I don't really get crazy creative. Like being on the spot,
Yeah.
Like, damn, I can't really, because I've done that before when I was working with Wes. He was like, yo, cook up right here on the spot. I'm like, man, I can't come up with nothing. And
That's
so,
understandable.
yeah, it was another room. Once he was like, yo, I gotta finish this record, let me do this verse, you know, go do what you do. So I ain't back. So I went in the other room and I made like 3 or 4 joints. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about I guess being comfortable. But yeah, like I'd rather be in the studio with the artist than just, oh, I got a whole bunch of beats, let me just email them.
Yeah.
I want to be able to add drops, or if they're comfortable, send me the record, you know, that way I can add drops and so on and so forth. What I try to do now is take acapellas and add drops like that, like do it like that way.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awkward because, you know, or maybe it's not gonna be awkward. Maybe it gives the artist like another way to create and structure their song around the beat, because like it drops here, drops, you know, in different places. So that's another way to do things. If you're not gonna be in the studio with the artist, get like an acapella, like of somebody that you think could get busy on this beat, then do your little drops and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I think I can see, like, you know, what you're talking about. Like sometimes in the studio it can be this, especially like if it's like a lot of people there or something like that, you know, you gotta be honed in like with just you and the artist, so you can be concentrated and focused like while you're working, you know. And then I can see the other side too, where like if you send out tracks and stuff, it makes it convenient. Like say like if they, you know, yeah, like a long distance type deal or whatever, you know, or if they're on tour or something, they might could still work on something. You send the email, they can record it while they're, you know, in whatever studio they're in, not, you know, out of town or whatever, you know. So it can work both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And where do you usually get your drums from? Like, do you use like drum kits, or do you sample them from vinyl? Like,
man, everywhere, anywhere you can think of. You know, I mean, it could be, it's just from drums. You know, it could be from anywhere, man. You know, so wherever the inspiration is at, I might even record my own drums. It just, but it depends on the inspiration. It's not where you're getting the drums from, it's how you make it sound like you.
Right.
How you tweak them, how you make it sound like, you know, because we could take the same drums. I could use some drums, and I use the same drums. It may not hit the same way because how, you know, the post production of it.
Yep. How you EQ your drums makes all the difference.
Exactly.
But that's the dope thing about it. It really doesn't matter where you get drums from. You know?
No. Like you can get drums from breaks, and you know, and still don't have like that knock, because a lot of the drums from back in the day, how they record them and all that.
Right.
How you can make this drum sound full, or how you gonna take the kick from one drum break and the snare from another break, so on and so forth. How you gonna make it sound like one drum kit? How you gonna make it sound full? So it's all about EQing.
Yep.